Welcome one, welcome all, welcome to another exciting episode of Games Explained. I am Bridger, I'll be your educator for today. We are looking at Total War Rome 2. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'm going to take you through the game and explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it so you can get an idea of not only how the game plays, but also the strategy behind it and the mechanics and all that. Very briefly, I'm going to show off my graphics settings because people are probably going to want to know what this graphics setting is. I'm using a GTX 760, which doesn't appear to matter very much because it never goes above 60 to 65% usage. Instead, the game is very, very CPU bound, which I have a i7 3770K. So I'm going to go ahead and load up the campaign here that I had saved. This one here. We're a couple 6 turns in, it looks like, and I'm playing as the Romans because that is the faction I have the most experience with, and various factions and cultures have different building setups and things, so it's going to be much easier for me to explain the Roman faction to you because I've played them more. I've just started getting into trying to play the Iceni, the barbarians of Britain. Okay, so here we are. We are in, of course, Italy, Rome, in the year 267 BCE. What you see right here is the strategic map. This kind of shows you all the details of what's going on. So I'll just explain the situation that I'm in. I've managed to conquer an entire province here, Italia, formerly Valathri, and Ariminium were controlled by the Etruscans, which were Italian factions outside of Rome, but Rome quickly crushed them in real history, and so I'm trying to follow that path as well. I also have 2 regions within the Magna Graecia province, and it looks like Syracuse and Carthage own the other 2, so we're going to have to remedy that before the day is done. The last holdout of the Etruscan League is over here in Sardinia, and then Carthage also owns Corsica, so we're going to have to deal with that as well. So my current goal is to deal with the Etruscans, deal with the Syracusians, and then crush these 2 Carthaginian settlements from 2 different sides simultaneously, hopefully in a blitzkrieg move way before 1939. You can see diplomatic status. These are the only people I'm at war with. Some other really cool things here. My southern province has a bit of a problem with public order at the moment. Rome is currently the most gloriously wealthy of all of my regions, and of course you see here. So let's see, what do I have to deal with right now? I've got this army right here, my 1st Legion of Italica, and then I've got my 2nd Legion, Apollinaris. You can rename them too. I really like renaming them sometimes based on their achievements. So right now I am trying to finish off this Etruscan army. I just finished taking these in the north, so he's still here on the Italian peninsula threatening me. So I have to take him out, and then I can go and work on getting Sardinia there. So he retreats because he knows he's inferior, but it's okay. I can catch him and take him down. Alright, I'm actually... I have a very, very strong chance of winning this just because he has some generic Italian spearmen. I have the, of course, superior Roman hastati at the beginning of the game, and he doesn't really have any ranged forces either. I could use my skirmishes to beat him, but I'm going to auto-resolve this because it's fast and it's easy, and I don't want this game to this explanation video to be more than an hour. So I successfully completed a mission. I now have the option to either kill the captives, enslave the captives, or release the captives. Releasing gives a much lower diplomatic penalty with these enemies and their allies. So if I wanted to end this war after only taking, 1 settlement or 2 just to complete a province, I might consider releasing the captives so that they wouldn't hate me so much and they'd be willing to end the war. As it is, I'm planning to crush them outright, so I'm going to kill or enslave them. I'm going to kill them, and I'll explain why. Ooh. 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 That look. Oh, he fell right in the water. There goes your army, pushed into the sea. The reasoning is that right now I have a bit of a public order crisis here. You can see I'm looking at the province of Italia, which, if we recall, is all of the 1, 2, 3, 4 regions here. you can actually see the large lines here delegating the different provinces, and that's very important because provinces are how you govern your empire, not based on the regions, based on the province. So right now I'm at negative 59 public order, but the good news is it's going up by 6 per turn, and you can see here I'm playing on the very hard difficulty, so that's giving me a bonus of only 7 instead of 8 or 10 based on the easier difficulties. I think maybe you get 12 on easy, I'm not sure. I do have some buildings giving me some extra happiness, some characters, including the generals here. Their presence is helping, but also the military presence is helping a little bit here. So it's currently affecting me in a very negative way. There's an unhappy populace penalty here. Because my people are so unhappy, this entire province is growing slower and giving me much lower income. I could be getting something like plus 10% or plus 8% to my tax rate if they were really happy. So that's obviously changing at plus 6 per turn, but that's not really that fast. That means in, I don't know, 100 turns, I'll finally be back at 0, which is not acceptable. Instead, I'm going to try to garrison this guy to get a little bit more of military presence bonus. I'm also going to look around in here to see what there is that I could use to boost my my public order. There's a bunch of different buildings that can do this, and a bunch of buildings that actually have a penalty to public order because they increase the density of your cities and result in people being all squished together and squalor and all that stuff. So religious buildings are the first things that I look to because religious buildings have by default a plus 2 public order per turn, and this one actually can give you a plus 4. And the higher rank of this particular building, the Sacred Grove, becomes plus 8. So this seems like a very good upgrade for me to do right now. Remember, even though I'm building it in Neapolis here, it affects the entire province. So any changes to the buildings that I make in any one of these settlements will affect the entire province. And I do really like the UI function that you can see all of your buildings within the province in a single panel. That is an extremely useful tool since everything that happens on these buildings is province-wide. Is there a building that gives plus 10% wealth to all buildings? Well, that applies to everything in the province. So let's go ahead and do that. Sacred Grove. I've also got provincial edicts I can put down here. This one reduces auxiliary costs. This is for when you kind of take over new territory. You can use the Romanization edict, which is very useful. The other options on here include commercial stimulation, which increases wealth from all your buildings that produce commerce income, tax harvesting, which increases your tax rate, and bread and games, which is plus 6 public order and an additional 4 food for helping growth. I think that would be beneficial. Now you can see it didn't do anything because it doesn't take effect until next turn, but next turn that edict will happen. Let's see, what else is going on in our settlement? Now we do have a bonus due to slaves. Right now 13.6% of our population in this province are slaves, which is a pretty high percentage. It's affecting our public order negatively, and it's giving us a slight bonus, about 9% income to this province. So let's talk about how income works because it's really confusing. You can see you can adjust tax level to normal, low, minimal, or very minimal. So you can kind of adjust this and you can see how it's affecting the income, and it's also affecting the public order problems and growth problems, actually. If I put it really low, then we get no growth problems. If it's on normal, then it has, no actual growth problems. If you put it too high, we do get a bunch of cash, but we don't get nearly correct. So I'm going to leave it on normal. And you can see normal represents 100% income, really. See, Rome supposedly produces 575 income per turn. If I bring this up, it doesn't actually affect Rome's income as displayed on the screen here, which is why it's confusing. What the 575 represents is that is the income Rome creates if the taxes are set to normal or 100%. However, if I leave them up here, we can take a look at the province info and see what actually happens is when I drag that slider all the way to the top, that's 140% normal taxation. So that is how it's affected here. The 575 is then multiplied by 1.4, or in this case 1.32, because I'm getting a -8 modifier here. So it's multiplied by an extra, 132% to give me my total, 1,507. So I'm going to leave it on normal, however. I haven't found a specific reason to really increase or decrease taxes. On normal, you get, a -7 public order. which is usually counterable fairly easily. Sometimes I'll have to lower it if my public order gets crazy in a lot of different situations at the same time. But for now, this is our situation. We're going to get plus 12 at least next turn once in terms of public order. Once this gets finished in 3 turns, it'll give us an additional 2 public order, so that'll help this province recover quicker and get rid of that -8 modifier and actually make it increase growth and increase the tax rate instead. In the meantime, I've got some armies here I've got to move. You can see I've composed it mostly of Hastati, which is medium, heavy melee infantry, Velites, which is very light missile infantry, and we're going to try and move him. We've already crushed this army, so I'm going to move him back to garrison in Rome. This guy's going to garrison in Neapolis. You can see that my public order actually got negatively affected there because when you have people garrisoned, that adds their military presence as a bonus to public order. But when I took him out of the garrison in Arminium, he didn't make it all the way to Roma. I can actually fix that using a stance called Forced March, which gives him additional range, but if he goes into combat on the next turn, between now and the next turn, when if somebody were to attack him, for example, after a Forced March, his units would suffer a lot of penalties in combat, which is what this is here. You can see we would have a much lower chance of anticipating an ambush. It'd be much easier to walk into an ambush, minus 25% morale for all units, and we can't start a battle if we use a forced march. But it does make us march much, much further. But now that we've managed to get him garrisoned in Roma here, he's got given the plus bonus here. So I can actually do the same thing with these guys and get them to Neapolis this turn. And now we are getting a +6 bonus from military presence. You can also see provincial instability is actually going to go away slowly, -1 per turn. Basically, when a region in a province gets captured, that goes up and then slowly goes back to 0. Or should I say it goes down and then slowly goes back to 0. So provincial instability, the negative modifier, will go away over time. Our public order down here in the Magna Graecia province is actually okay, and it's getting better. It doesn't have any negative or positive effects yet, but it is getting better. I do have the option to expand down here, and I have enough gold to do it. I have 2,500, so let's see. Where do we want to expand? I think I want to expand this tiny, tiny little hamlet of Cassentia. So I can expand it because right now I have 4 population surplus saved up, and I need a certain amount in order to build up the land here. So I'm going to expand the city. It costs 1 population surplus. Now we're down to 3. The next one will cost 4, and the next one costs, I think, 6, something like that. So down here, I think we're going to need a villa to produce more food for us. It also produces wealth, and then I also have the option to produce some military recruitment type centers, or, again, religious centers to help public order. But I don't think I need public order help here at the moment. And it looks like I might actually be able to take advantage of that here. I've got an extra 3, and this one's only going to cost 1. So let's expand this as well, and I can get a public forum, which does give public order. So I'm getting both the food and the public order, and in a couple of turns those will be completed, and public order will go up, and our growth will go up, and our total food will go up. So with that, I think I'm done for this turn, unless I wanted to try and raise an army. I've also got... Oh, this army actually leveled up. The turn before, they got in a fight and captured Arminium, and or earlier this turn, rather. And now I can give them a tradition. Even if this army is completely wiped out, every single member and general killed, I can resurrect this army and its traditions from veterans that went back to their homes or whatever. So the tradition's kind of cool. Your legions will gain these sort of perks over time, and you'll be able to slowly make legions that are very good at doing one specific task, like ambushing the opponent, or night fighting, or engineering experts for sieges. That's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to rename this so that I remember. This is the 2nd Legion of Engineerius. There we go. That's not really a Roman word, but that's what I'm going to go with. So I think that's it. I might... Is this a stack of 20? It's not a full stack of 20, so instead I'm going to give it a couple more. Oh, I can't pay for it because they're in forced march mode. I don't think they can recruit. So let's just hit end turn, and we have a skill on a character that needs an upgrade. You can tell because he's got the little up arrow there. These guys fought that battle, and so the general actually leveled up. I can give him a Hasta, I guess. That's maybe something for his household. He's got a bonus to morale. A bit of claret. Interesting. And now I can give him a new skill. I can increase his cunning, his authority, and his zeal. And the easy way to kind of decide how you want to build your general is to look at the general's tree, which is unfortunately hidden way in here. You've got your authority, cunning, and zeal type tree. So unlocking this one gives you access to everything else in this tree, but it requires a certain rank general in order to get. So the zeal tree gives you a lot of bonuses to attacking and to physically the units themselves getting bonuses to attacking. So melee attack skill, for example, bonuses to melee attack skill, shots per turn. Again, more melee attack skill and shots. Bonus morale when units are in offensive battle. So zeal is one that has a lot of impact on the actual battle itself, and it has a lot of impact when you're attacking specifically. Like, for example, 20% income for looting settlements or when raiding an enemy province. So that is very useful for that. Strategist, the cunning tree, is much more useful for utility things and defense. So it's two things. It's defense and utility. So utility in that, for example, this one gives you campaign map move range. It also gives defensive skill for all units. This one is the same thing but for boats. Here is recruitment costs go down. Upkeep costs go down. So this is, again, a utility thing. Your army costs less. Replenishment rates increased, ammunition increased, armor, so again, defense and utility, but also siegecraft. This guy could get really good at fighting sieges or holding out on an enemy siege. In addition, covert action enables night battles. You can't have night battles without this, and it gives you the chance to ambush the enemy, better chance to ambush the enemy. Let's see, mercenary contracts, better at mercenary buying, and again, lower upkeep. So that's all about sort of utility advantages. And finally, the authority tree seems to be all about improving morale of units and some utility stuff, but improving the combat value of units in general, increasing the experience they get, the charge bonus for cavalry, shots per minute. This one's a naval advantage. This tree actually has three specific things for navies. The other ones only have one. So this tree is also, the authority tree is very good for naval. So the way that I look at these is the authority tree is good for navy and general combat and morale. It's got a decent one for siege in there, but that's really the only one. So general combat, morale, and navy. This is good for pretty much any army you get. You can give them authority traits and it's good. Strategist, the cunning tree, is really good for making your army sneaky, covert, ambushy, also very good at sieges and defense so that they stay alive longer. Warrior, zeal, is all about driving into enemy territory. You get bonuses on the offensive. You get bonuses to your ability to kill enemies. So if you can hunt down and kill enemies, that's very important. So hopefully that helps when you're leveling up your generals. So just remember, zeal is all about offensive combat. Cunning is all about defensive and utility, and authority is general combat and morale. So with that all having been said, what we have here is the Italica group. These are going to be my engineers. So if these are going to be my engineers, I'm probably going to go down the strategist route for them. But these guys, the Italica, I might make them all my super offensive group. So I think I'm going to consider going in the zeal tree for him. That makes them the ability to attack really strongly and just raid enemy territories is going to be a good time. So I think with that, I can finally end the turn successfully. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so you can see all the other factions are moving. I need to turn off limited view of this because you can see it does make movement times go a little bit longer, and for the purposes of the video, I can probably turn it off. That's something they just changed. By the way, I'm using the beta for patch number 2. Which has done some significant improvements to the game. Things like diplomacy still are weak, unfortunately, but we go into options here, and you can see there's a new option for limited AI moves instead of full or off. Limited means it only shows you stuff that you can see in the sea region near you and in territory that you control. I'm just going to turn it off for the purposes of this video, but a lot of people could find that very useful. So we can see Italia is a troubled province, which is weird because it tells you that whenever it changes status, I think, and it went from the -8% tax rate down to -4. But you can see when you look here, it looks like that's a bad thing. Like it's saying, oh my God, your province is a troubled province, when really it just went from really unhappy to only a little bit unhappy. This should actually show up as a green icon and say, hey, your province is getting better. Instead, it makes it look like your province is getting worse. Very deceptive. Be careful of that. This is another interface thing that I just hate because it doesn't tell me what the guy already has. I don't know what I'm replacing, so I just send him to pool, and later on I'll go and make that. Bread and Games has been enacted. You can see, look at this. We're getting way more right now because provincial instability went down. We've got military presence there. Also, there's been a positive effect, it looks like. Because Bread and Games is there, duh. And of course, we've constructed a villa in Cosentia. So we did just build that last turn. We can now upgrade it, and we've got a couple of different options, literally two. We could turn it into a farm and go down the agriculture route, which would give me lots of food and a little bit of wealth from agriculture. Or we could go down the herding ground wealth track, which would give me less food and a lot and more wealth from livestock instead. So I think I'm going to go down the farm, the agriculture route for now, just because I need to be able to feed my people, and the more your food surplus is, the more growth you get, which means that these cities can expand more. Because right now, I'm down to 2 population surplus. And even though that's going up, I'm going to get more population surplus over time. I'm going to want to do that quickly, because I need to expand these cities and make them powerful and, blow things up. All right. So these guys I can take out of forced march mode now because they made it to the city and they don't need to be in forced march anymore. They're just going to sit there and garrison, and at the same time we're going to recruit some more troops. So at the beginning of the game I have some pretty weak troops at this point. I could upgrade the Field of Mars to either a manipular barracks or an auxiliary camp, but I just don't have the technology yet. Right now I'm going to try and fill up Construction 1 so I can get a reduction in construction costs because I'm about to build a bunch of buildings in a bunch of new territories, so that'd be good to have. So I'm going for that, and then I'll flip over to getting the Manipular Barracks, which is where you get the common pre-Marian Roman legions, the Manipular Army. But in the meantime, I'm just going to have the engineers round up a whole bunch of guys, and I just broke my treasury building just those 3 guys. So we'll end our turn and move on. And we'll see Rome is going to start bringing in a lot more taxes. The entire province here, rather, is going to start bringing in a lot more taxes as the happiness increases in that region. So that'll help my tax income, which is good. We just got a technology completed. So this is the tech tree in the game. It's actually a total of basically 6 tech trees. You have 3 different military tech trees and 3 different economic tech trees. In order to unlock any of the economic tech trees, you first must get this. And in order to unlock any of the military tech trees, you first must get this, which I think I will get now just so that get the 50% ammunition for all my missile troops. That's kind of a nice thing, and it only takes 2 turns, so why not? I actually think I'm going to go straight for Manipular Barracks now that I think about it. So it's going to get this, and then it's going to get the Manipular Barracks so that I can recruit much better the standard high-quality heavy infantry that you expect from the Roman legions. At the same time, we've got an enemy naval fleet outside of Neapolis here. So it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to get a navy. So we raise a fleet here. We get to choose our general. Right now we have 2 of 6 maximum armies and 1 of 4 maximum fleets. Problem is, I don't have that much income, and as soon as I start building fleets, it's going to increase the upkeep of these fleets significantly, or the upkeep costs in general, because you have to pay for the stuff you buy. So that's a problem. How do I take care of that? Well, maybe I can get some more income from someplace else first. Arminium is currently get an upgrade to this port. So the port gives me 30 wealth from maritime commerce. If I upgrade it to a harbor, it goes from 30 to 180. That's a pretty significant increase. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pay the 2,000 and increase my income significantly. Now I'm out of money. So I'm just going to have to sit here and wait and see if these Etruscans try to blockade Neapolis or do anything else kind of sneaky there. They did. They went and blockaded Neapolis, which really kind of just stops my trade routes going from that port. And I don't have any trade routes yet, but I should work on that too. Now, if we take the garrison of the city here, and we can see the garrison is 2 of these raiding Hemiolia levies. Those are 2 ships. And then I also have 3 Rorarii and plebs and levies. Not a great garrison, but it also combines with the Roman army that it can apparently just fabricate boats out of midair and go and fight them. So let's just chase them away. And we apparently killed off one of their boats somehow. And now we can go ahead and kill the captives. Bye. See you later. Now, there was something else I wanted to do here. I can make Neapolis a fishing port to get more food, or I could make it a shipwright in order to construct a sort of auxiliary navy. Right now, my options for building a navy are really weak. I don't get any good options for building a naval unit. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Where is my naval unit? It's over here. I've got one naval unit, which I use to go and explore and find out where Massalia is. Let's bring him back and do something with him. But in the meantime, let's see if we can get a trade route going with Massalia. They are -5 because of a cultural aversion, but that's okay. We might still be able to get a trade agreement with them.
I throw open the doors to you and bid you enjoy our talks.
Okay, let's see. Yes, we got a trade route with them. So that's an extra 115 per turn, which is pretty significant when I'm only making 1,700. Now, are there any other groups that I could get a trade route with? I used to have a trade route with Syracuse, but they broke it off in the first couple of turns of the game because they stopped liking me for some reason. Athens never wants to give me a trade route, and I have no idea why. It really does confuse the hell out of me. Every game I've started, ever, I've tried to get a trade route with Athens, and I can't even get a non-aggression pact with them. Oh, I did, actually. Okay. Oh, no, that's with the Ardei. Okay. Well, they like me, apparently. Maybe they'll want a trade agreement. Hey, they kind of do. No, they don't. But maybe if I throw in a little extra incentive, you know? I'll give them a little, like, 760. The trade agreement's going to give me 113 per turn. I'll make that up in 7 turns. Hey, there we go. All right, so we've got another trade agreement. So after 7 turns, I'll start getting pure profit from this trade agreement with these guys. Hopefully they will survive, because they are apparently at war with these guys. But hopefully I helped them a little bit. Epirus is at war with the entire Greek world. They do that every single game. The entire Greek world is programmed to hate Epirus. And they pretty much just die at the beginning. So now you can see we've got some trade routes going on here. We've got the Roman trade route going this way up to Massalia, and we've got another trade route over here providing a bunch of income through Arminium and all the way down to our capital. So I've got a spy. I'm going to send him up this way, and we're going to try to come at Eulalia from the north. Meanwhile, I want to, I want to click on my army here. The 1st Legion of Engineers. Recruit some more troops, because we've got plenty of ranged troops here. So I'm going to recruit some more here. And after this turn, I am going to send them north and try to capture Corsica there. Oh, this guy just got into a fight, and so he leveled up. Oh, the actual army leveled up. Interesting. So this is Italica, and we're going to give them, like, all the offensive bonuses, right? So let's give them bonus from weapon damage to melee troops. Just a tiny bonus, but it can add up. All right, so let's hit end turn, and next turn, the 2nd Legion of Engineers are going to go up here and come around on this island from the north, and hopefully they won't expect that. They usually have their navy sort of patrolling here, and even though armies can sort of create their own boats, actual naval units are still more powerful in the auto-resolve, which is how it should be. But a lot of people are trying to consider modding the game such that the navies should always be more powerful than transport ships. Transport ships should not be used to fight things, which is what they're saying. They should not be effective at fighting. So I'm bringing my navy back. I could actually use that to try and go explore what's going on in Africa here. Right now I don't have any contacts. I can only see these areas that I've explored. If I send it down to Egypt here, I could probably get a trade route with the Ptolemaic Empire, which is the Egyptian faction. Okay, I've still got a bunch of money here. I've sent him north. I could upgrade this to an auxiliary camp, but that provides me with the sort of cheaper, weaker infantry and war dogs. But nah, I'm waiting till I can get this Equites Principae and Triarii as sort of the main force behind the Romans. But in the meantime, I can upgrade something else here. I'm getting plus 13, very, very good, partly because this, I could upgrade this and get even more public order per turn, and it'll spread Latin culture, and it'll improve my tax harvesting edict. I think I'll do that. Now, I'm back to 0 money, basically, and I don't have anything else to do at the moment. It's telling me that Brundisium has the ability to expand. So let's go and check that out next turn. I should have the money to do it. And there we go, through all 100 some odd factions. Epirus is finally destroyed. When a faction loses its final settlement, its armies will kind of attack the closest, weakest settlements it can find in the hopes of founding a new empire in that settlement, but it doesn't always work. All right, Brundisium here. I can give them something else. I can expand the city and build a new type of thing. I think they're going to be useful to have a consecrated ground here. I could also build an industrial area, which just generates wealth for you like crazy. I could also build a field of Mars in case I wanted to recruit units from here, but I don't think I need that. I think I would be happy with getting a consecrated ground, because I have a feeling that public order is going to be a problem here eventually. No, you know what? I'm going to build a second public forum. And this public forum I can upgrade to an amphitheater, which gives me a ton of public order. And then the next one I can upgrade to, let's see, a delicatessen, which gives bonus from agricultural and livestock buildings. And I can build a lot of farms and other things in these 3 cities. So we'll see if I can get sort of an agricultural theme going in Magna Graecia down here, and a sort of commerce harbor-type economy going in up here. Now, the thing to consider when it comes to building harbors as opposed to fishing ports, which give you food and a little bit of commerce, harbors give you a ton of maritime commerce, but that is always negatively affected by piracy. You can see that the piracy rate is minus 28% wealth from maritime commerce. That starts at 30. There must be some elements that reduce piracy, and I'm not sure if it's technology. Maybe it's technology. Did one of the things that I got reduce piracy? Maybe this does? I don't know. It starts at 30%. Now it's at 28%. Who knows why? Maybe it's the number of navies. Just passively they lower piracy. But either way, this is not giving me the full 120 wealth. It's being reduced by 28%, which is a pretty significant chunk. Now, if this region, instead of being shared between this port, which is mine, and these other ports, which are not mine, if I had control of every port in this sea region right here, then it would be considered controlled. And if it's controlled, piracy rate goes from 30 by default to 10 by default. It's a massively huge reduction. And if you go over here, where we are in a contested sea region, Eulalia is an enemy that I'm at war with. And so that jumps up to 60% by default instead of 30. So having a harbor in Neapolis would be a really bad idea, because I'd lose 60% of the income from there. It'd be a waste of money until I can no longer be at war with Eulalia and Carthage. So I don't want to bother building a harbor here, because I'm going to lose a lot of the income that's supposedly coming from it. However, I don't intend on getting to any wars over here. The other thing that you can do is I could take my my navy here and put them into a patrol stance, which reduces piracy penalties in this sea region by 25%, which would help a lot if I needed to. Right now I don't need to. Instead, I want you in here getting ready to sort of build some more crappy naval units. They're not going to be great, but it's better than nothing, and I'll be able to help a little bit with it. So let's send this guy over here and hope that they don't notice. Meanwhile, I've got my spy over here. I'm going to send him, or her, and we have the option of doing some fun things here. We could sabotage by inciting unrest, poisoning the wells, or commit arson. We could actually try to destroy some of these buildings. If these were buildings that were not of the same type as mine, if they were not the Latin culture buildings, then it might be worth it. Right now, I don't have the money, though, to do any of those things, so we'll consider that next turn, what our spy can do to help us. Usually, actions from things like spies are things you want to do right before you attack. You poison the wells, you make the garrison sick, you hurt the enemy army.
Friends, you have fearsome foes. We send away our warriors if they come to help.
Liguria wants to join us in this war for a mere 100 wealth. I'm actually not opposed to that, because maybe they'll like us more if we're both at war, and then maybe I can get a trade route out of them. Let's see. Yep. Okay. They like us better. Maybe now if I go and get a diplomatic agreement.
The treaty between us would please the gods and give our enemies much to think about.
A non-aggression pact gives bonuses to
Your wisdom
relations.
echoes that of Athena herself.
And I love what these guys say. The problem with a non-aggression pact is it the only penalty to a non-aggression pact that I can find is that if you cancel the non-aggression pact 10 turns after making it, then you get a massive diplomatic hit with everybody in the world. But if it's been 20 turns since the non-aggression pact had been signed, and you cancel it and go to war, there's zero penalty as far as I can tell. Economic potential. Research technology in the economy category. And if I do, I will get 5% wealth from all buildings. The Senate wants me to do that, and they'll give some extra taxes or something. Well, I actually just finished Manipular Organization, so I can definitely go here and do what I was planning to do. Increase wealth from commerce buildings and tariff from trade agreements. That's a good pick. So let's do those two. And that'll wind up giving me a bunch of wealth from agriculture and reduction in agriculture building costs. So, yeah, I don't mind doing that. Now, Brundisium is still working on its thing there. We're at actually, damn, we're getting lower here now instead of higher. So I'm going to go ahead and spend the money to get the amphitheater upgrade on the city center, and that way we'll get positive. So Magna Graecia will finally start getting a higher public order over time instead of a lower one. Yes. So we've got our boats here, our navy. It's not very good. It's kind of like militia navy units because I don't have any special dedicated buildings to building navy. So I've got the very weakest navy you can think to get. But I am going to attempt to get the navy and the army working together. I can still raise a navy even though it's up here. You'll see, though, it's costing me a lot more. Recruitment costs are up by 10% in this sea because it's contested. If I instead started building and training a navy, in the sea down here or over there, it'd be much less expensive. As it stands, I'm having to pay a premium because I'm building in the sea that I intend to use it in, which is also contested. All right. So we had a shipwright report because we built those boats. Household expands again. Useless. Just send them all to pool. It's useless. Okay. Now we're at basically $0. This guy has managed to land, and as you can see, by this, I've got 18 units, and what does this guy have? He's got 5, 2, and then there's a naval unit here with 1. Or no, that's just an army unit in the sea, I think, there. So I've got a pretty solid shot at taking this city. So let's go ahead and hit end turn. Next turn, I plan on having these 2 units come together to blockade the city from two directions. There we go. Our hidden agent has been exposed. Oh no. All right. So what options do I have here? I got poison the wells, which inflicts major damage along the local garrison, which is not bad. If I can inflict damage on the garrison and then blockade the city and siege the city from both directions, then the garrison can't ever get stronger. It can't replenish itself. So let's try that. Let's try poisoning the well. It costs a little bit, but if I can pull it off, it'll be useful. Oh no! My agent has been wounded in the attempt to poison the wells. Oh well. Okay, so we're going to go over here and blockade the port. There we go. We're going to maintain the blockade so they cannot trade, nor if I... Here's the other thing. When you siege a city, that is, encircle. If you encircle a land city, like this one doesn't have a port, it can only hold out for a certain number of turns, like 3. If you siege a city that has a port, the port allows them to get some supplies in and out, so they usually take twice as long. But if you siege a city at the same time you're blockading it, then it goes back down to like 3 instead of 6. So the other thing that's going on here is that the sieging forces and the besieged both of them are taking attrition over time, though the people inside the city are taking more attrition per turn than I am outside the city. But they're still harassing me. The people in the countryside are harassing me, so I still have to take attrition losses. I don't just get a free pass here. So they will either attack me or die in 3 turns. And it's much better for them to attack me and me to be on the defense than for me to have to go into the city and fight them. Just because they would have all the advantages of defending small, discrete, small areas. So, with that having been done, let's see if I have any upgrades I can commit. So this one upgraded to an amphitheater. Can I upgrade this one that I wanted to a delicatessen? I can. And it will give me extra food, extra wealth from agriculture and livestock buildings, which I plan on building agriculture and livestock in these cities. So that's going to be a good synchronization later on. I don't have any more money. Otherwise, I could upgrade these to, say, livestock and then get a livestock herding option in the capital. So we'll consider that to be our goal. These 3 cities are going to have, livestock buildings here. And then we're going to get the bonus to livestock building in the main capital. And then later we might change those cities over to other things, but we'll have to see. The nice thing is that you can convert cities buildings fairly easily to other options. Oh no! So somehow my general died. It didn't tell me how. It just tells me that he did. I have to go over here and see if natural causes. It says that he dies of natural causes. So I am going to have to choose a new general for the Engineering Legion. So this one, these guys are actually statesmen. These are political people in Rome. These guys are just candidates for generalcy. They're just sort of normal military guys. But the statesmen are usually have much stronger bonuses. Like this guy seems to be really good. He gives a bonus to morale, cooldown rate of all abilities, size of commander's aura, influence. This guy has a ton of bonuses, but a bunch of negatives too. Ugh. I don't think I want this guy commanding anything. And he's from the House of Julia. That's my house, so that's a problem. So let's talk about that right now. But for now, let's quickly... There we go. Here's the politics screen. And, it is... This is the guy that sucks. He's got all these horrible traits that I don't like. But right now, this is the general I just picked to bring into to the combat there. But this is the political screen. The political screen is unfinished, to say the least. There's a lot of little things you can do here that barely affect the game at all. The main function of this screen is that you need to balance the influence of the 3 houses. If any one of them gets too strong or too weak, a civil war is likely to erupt. And then even if they're all balanced, if your Imperium goes too high, which is how noteworthy your family is, so that people, when they come to think of Rome, they think of the Julia house, for example. If that gets too high, a civil war erupts anyway, because you just have way too much glory. It doesn't matter if you only have a certain amount of influence over the senators. The other senators are jealous of you. So you can affect how much influence the different houses have by basically making generals out of the people in the houses. Like I had the option to choose a bunch of different generals. I chose the one from the other houses because he had better fighting ability. But if I had chosen this guy, even though he had some real negatives as a general, if he went and won glorious battles, his gravitas would increase. And that would increase the speed at which we gain influence in the Senate. And more generals and people appear over time that change, from here to there. I could, for example, marry this guy off, and he would then sort of join my family, and then I would get a couple extra senators. It costs a lot of money, though, so I'm not even going to think about that because it's all pretty balanced right now, so who cares? Okay, we got the attrition report. The 2 guys here that are blockading the city. Oh, a noble death. Doesn't even tell me who. These guys both lost some units as they were blockading here. But the guys inside, like I said, lost way more than we did. You can see that's about 10%. We lost maybe 5%. So that's good. They'll probably have to attack me next turn. Now, here we go. I just got my manipular organization, so I want to build a manipular barracks, which will give me the ability to recruit a real Roman army instead of, crap. So I have the option to expand my city. I don't want to do that, though. If I expand the city but then don't have the money to pay to fill it with a district that I want, for example, a city center, that's the yellow buildings that I was building down here. These are the city center buildings. That's the kind of thing I'd want to build in Rome. But if I leave it empty, like I expand the city and just leave it there, fucking homeless everywhere. Just becomes a slum that eats, that begs and steals food in public order. So I do not want to increase the size of the city until I have the money to pay for it. In the meantime, we hit end turn and we go on. I think we're going to see a battle here, and I'll fight it so you can see what the game looks like in the battle section, because I haven't been fighting it very much. I've been doing all the auto-resolves just to get through the sort of campaign discussions here. And keep in mind, a lot of people have a huge problem with the turn time in this game. You can see at the top, mine is going fairly quickly, even though I'm recording fraps, but that's because I have like the top of the line i7 3770K overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz. The game is very unoptimized. I'm looking at my, I mean, we can look. I'm trying to record at 50 frames per second. I'm getting 39 right now. And my graphics card is hovering at about 70% usage. What? Why aren't you using the rest of my graphics card? Because it's using the CPU instead. The game needs to be significantly more optimized. All right, Italia as a province is now giving me a bonus to tax rate. Huzzah! So that means I can change the edict that I was previously using to help boost the tax rate, and instead, or to help boost the public order rate, and instead I can change it to tax harvesting, which will give me plus 7% on all the income in the entire province. Commercial stimulation would give me plus 10% to all commerce-based, but I think plus 7 on everything is probably better than plus 10% on commerce only. Because let's take a quick look at the settlement. Where is most of my income coming from? Subsistence, which you can't boost through buildings usually. Subsistence, maritime commerce, that's a big one. Agriculture is a big one. And then maritime commerce is a little bit. So therefore, the tax harvesting is going to be much better for me. In addition, let's go to the buildings here. It was the hang on. The UI is bugged here. There we go. Now, it's the Grove of Nymphs that's increasing my tax harvesting edict, which is kind of nice. I might want to build that in the capital, too, because, unfortunately, certain building chains can only be built up to level 3 in cities that are not the province capital. You can see that there's a major difference between Rome, with its walls, and its slots for 4 plus a port, versus these cities, which have slots for 3 plus a port. Actually, 2 expansions plus a port, 4 expansions plus a port. Is how they have it break down. So I've got Rome is one of my province capitals. This is my other province capital. So at the moment, I think I might change this to something else and build the highest level Grove of Nymphs in Rome. But I do have the money to expand Rome now. So I could build Consecrated Ground and go up to level 4 Grove of Nymphs, which is plus 4% to tax harvesting. That would be quite useful. It would also cost me a lot of food. So I wouldn't be able to do that for quite a while. In the meantime, though, I think getting a public forum would be good. And then upgrading these to herding grounds would also be good. I'll upgrade this one next time. And this turn, we should see that city fall. Or them attack us out of desperation with their starved armies. Let's see what happens. There it is. Oh man, this is going to be a fairly easy fight, but let's just show it just to see what happens. I don't need to control the large army. This is the reinforcements that come from the sea, and he's got his 2 armies here, so I am just going to control the main army here just for the purposes of this viewing, you could say. I've got an SSD, by the way, a solid-state drive, which is why this loading screen is so fast. If you don't have a solid-state drive, this is going to be way slower. This is a game that vastly benefits from having a solid-state drive. Okay, here we go. So, we've got our Legion. Unfortunately, because of the way the game has been designed to have these sort of naval/land battles. You can see that this is my reinforcing army going to come from over here. What they did in order to attempt to make it so that the battles wouldn't get completely screwed up, they added this capture the flag mechanic to these field battles. The thought is, what if I have only naval units left and the AI only has land units left and I'm on the defense? Well, I could just sit up here and run the clock out on the Navy and they could never come get me. So they force you to defend a control point on the map to make you land or else lose the fight. That's what this is here for in these naval land battles. It's specifically to deal with that situation that could be easily exploited by the player. The problem is, if I was defending here, I would love to defend up on this hill. That would be a great place to defend. But no, I have to defend out here because if I lose this control point, I lose the fight. So instead, the battle turns into something that really feels a lot more annoying than you want it to. The solution here is allow the player to move the control point wherever they want. Because I could then move it to the top of this hill and say, this is my point, I have to defend it. But instead, I pretty much... let's take these guys here. I've got 3 regular dudes. We're going to put in the front. These are javelin throwers, basically. Then I'll take some velites. Put them on the side. I'm going to form a little bit of a V here because I expect the forces to come from either one side or the other. Now, I'll take, let's say, 4. No, let's go with 5. No, you know what? Let's go with 6. Make that our main straightforward line. Then we'll go with the rest. And go like that. And then finally, I think we have one more. This will be my sort of reserve force. I can bring him wherever he's needed. And my general will chill in the center as well. He's actually going to chill on the control point so they don't get any funny ideas. I'm using medium-size units, which is controls, I think, normally 80. These are all reduced because they've been sort of, you know, attritioning over time. Attriting, I guess would be the correct term.
The men are wavering.
Why are the men wavering? Who the fuck is wavering?
Our reinforcements have arrived.
We must make them proud that we are their defenders. More than that, our Roman gods are watching. Make sure they are not ashamed.
Thanks for that great speech, General. All right. So here comes that enemy. It looks like we don't have to worry about them sort of coming from the ocean, so I'm going to redo my formation here. Add some extra distance. Now there are some kind of cool things I want to show you in this combat. Velites. Now we're going to do something like this. And one control, click to do that. You hit space to see this. We're going to do this. Now as soon as these guys are in place, I'm going to show you something really cool. You can actually move the entire army in this formation in a specific direction. And you do that by selecting everyone. Wait until they get in position. Wait for it. Damn it, they've got slingers. Slingers outrange the javelin throwers. So I could, for example, select everybody. You hit Control G. And you see the lock means they're not allowed to break formation. If we tell them to move forward, they'll all move forward in formation. And if I give them an attack order, they'll all attempt to attack something where they should within that formation. It's well done. It's just not something that's publicized. All right, you go there.
Our general is under attack.
Why is our general under attack? He shouldn't be under attack. What are you doing? Oh. Yeah, actually, General, why don't you go take out those levy slingers? Things look like they're going well. Let's get the General's point of view on this, shall we? Run them down! Ooh! Oh! That worked out well. Stab them! Stab them good. There we go. Now, the best thing for me to do would be to have them leave and then charge again. There we go. Have them leave and charge again. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I got my... Where's my, this guy? He's my reserve. Damn mercenary Italian cavalry. I didn't see those guys coming from the flank, and I just lost one of my velites, I think. Okay. My general is mopping up their slingers. And we can take a quick look and see how he's doing. It shows that he's sustained casualties, but he's attacking in the rear. That's good. The enemy's cavalry is almost routed. Ah, the rest of the enemy is completely routed. So everybody attack just the general, or the cavalry. My general's going to go hide behind the army. Quickly. Quickly, general. Get out of dodge. Oh, boy. Army, protect us. Yeah! Ooh, that got a lot of horses. Ooh, ragdolls for the win. Where are you going? Why are you chasing that way? I told you to attack the... Okay, never mind. They kind of did. All right. So now... let's see if this works. Yes, I can reform. Because I did the Control-G, I could select the army and reform them. And so if I do this and then I hit Alt, I can center them on my first click point. So if I want them right here, centered, I can then hold Alt, click and drag until they're in the format I want. And here comes my allies, which don't... I mean, what are they doing? They're just sitting there. Oh, maybe I needed to control them. Interesting. I thought they were going to get taken over by the AI like they were in previous Total War games, but I guess not. All right. So here comes the last backup. That's actually kind of cool. You can see that there's the city in the background. I can't quite get to it, but it's right there. The fact that the terrain is sort of created dynamically, that's the city we're fighting over. We're north of the city. This is what it would look like. It's really cool from that effect. All right. Here they come. They've got no skirmish troops. So let's see if we can skirmish with them. Oh man, those guys have a lot of spears sticking out of there. What happened to this guy? Oh, that poor guy. More of them dying. With spears sticking out of everything. Javelins, I should say. The velites properly running and hiding. These levies are similar to the velites. They're not quite as strong. And so they're going to run and hide behind the much stronger infantry. Let's try to flank these guys. There we go. Everybody charge. Why are the men wavering? Go help. You're on the flank. Let's watch these guys charge into the rear. No, that's not the wrong guys. Oh, that happens sometimes. I try to get the camera to watch these guys and it watches somebody else instead. Oh, they are trapped. They are completely trapped. These guys have... Well, what are these guys? Where are you running from, Hastati? I hate you. You guys suck. These spearmen are shattered. Give chase. Where's my general? He should give chase. He's got the only cavalry in the group. There we go. We can end the battle. End the battle, because the Etruscans are destroyed. We've taken the city. Once they charge out of the city and fail, then they pretty much lose it. So that battle happened. It was fairly quick. and a lot of people have criticized the game for that. The patch made people survive a little bit longer due to morale changes. I think what really needs to happen is what a lot of people are asking for is the lethality of the fight needs to be slowed down. People shouldn't die quite so quick. The reasoning for that is because you're supposed to, I mean, these are supposed to be epic clashes between tens of thousands of people, but you really only have 2,000. So if they died at realistic rates, which they probably are dying at realistic rates in combat, but it depletes your forces so quick that they just all run away. And right now the game can't handle forces of, 10,000 on the field. Somebody modded it to get 27,000 guys over two different, or maybe 3 or 4 different armies. And the game was almost unplayable. It was like barely 20 FPS, he said. But, maybe if they improve the optimization, that'll get better. Alalia still hasn't fallen? The siege... Oh, never mind. It says settlement captured. Now I get the option to normally occupy, which, like I said, it starts at -8 provincial instability right after you do this, and then it slowly goes down to 7 that one turn, 6 the next turn, etc., etc. Also, you get a single one-turn penalty of -25, which is pretty big. Or I could loot the city, which gives a much bigger instability penalty. So looting is what you might want to do to something you don't intend to hold. You're just capturing it and looting it and then running away onto the next province. And you expect it to revolt and probably go back to its original owner, but you don't care because you got the money from it and you caused a huge amount of instability so that even when he takes it back, there's going to be problems. Subjugate, I could leave the Etruscans in charge of Corsica here. Sorry, this is Sardinia. And if I... Or is it Corsica? No, I can never remember. I think this is Corsica. If I leave them in charge of this, there's not much instability. I just put them in charge and they become a client state. The problem is client states are useless. I'd much rather have this under my control and get full power of it rather than half of it. The client state's the kind of thing you do, like, I don't have time to leave my army here to fix the public order problems caused by this occupy, and I don't have the money to build the buildings required, so I'm going to subjugate them and race my army to the other end of my empire where I'm having a problem. And then, of course, I could just raise the city, which actually gives you a huge single turn instability penalty, but it doesn't get worse after that, and the buildings are all destroyed, and if they're all buildings of the wrong culture, you're going to have to convert them anyway, so sometimes raising can be useful. But I usually just occupy, especially at the beginning of the game, when I want everything to stay mine and stay useful. So this is at -22 this turn, but it's going to get positive next turn, so we'll just leave that as it is. We don't need to worry about that. You can see the last Etruscan army here is dying slowly from attrition, and that they will eventually just die. But I can probably help them along if I... Where's my navy? Didn't I have a navy in here? Oh no, I sent my navy over here, that's right. If I have my navy come on down here and attack them, I can help them on their way. This army over here, actually, also a navy that is slowly going to die. Unless I help it along. There we go. That actually gives a little experience to my troops too, so might as well do it. And we'll kill them all. Alright, so we've got 2,200. We've got control of the entirety of the Italia province. We still have half of Magna Graecia, so the next thing we need to do is send armies down to secure Syracuse. And to do that, I think we can take this army and bring him over here to Cassentia. And then, let's see, this army here, actually what we need to do,
Commander,
is, in a second here, we're going to get the Manipular Barracks. Then we can start building Principe and Triarii. We have tons of Hastati, which we can put in combat in our legions, because they're cheaper to upkeep, but we don't want them to be the core of our army. Right now they're core of our army. We want our Principe and Triarii to be a core of our army. So we will instead... Is this our army? No, that's our navy. Let's take this guy and bring him back to Rome, and we'll merge together a bunch of armies with a bunch more Principe and Triarii, and that should help us out a lot. In the meantime, we can now build a harbor over here because it will give us a bunch of trade, because now it's at 28%, so I can go ahead and build this harbor in Neapolis that I've been waiting to build. I think that's it for this turn. Oh, hang on, somebody gained a skill. Ah, the general of the Engineering Legion. We were going to go with, I think, for the engineering, we're going to go down cunning to get those bonuses to siege. There's also the bonuses to siege in the authority tree. So we might get authority and cunning on him. Meanwhile, we want to get zeal bonuses on our Italica guy here. So there's still, looks like, 2 Etruscan armies that are slowly dying because they don't have any support structure. And they're probably just going to start attacking things that doesn't matter. Ooh, there we go. Research complete. Because the garrison of Alalia here is going to be able to take care of this. What's interesting is, you see down here at the bottom left, it says, provides garrison, 2 plebs, which are basically peasants, they're useless, 3 rurarii, which are medium infantry spearmen. They're not terrible great, but they're not horrible either. They're much better than plebs. 2 levies. Now, if you upgrade the sort of city itself from a Roman hamlet to a Roman village, now you not only get the 3 rurarii, but one of those, but then you also get an additional hastati. So you get a decent sort of medium strength infantry unit there, which is pretty good. And it will also increase growth and food production because this is a fishing village. So, and it will also increase wealth from maritime commerce building. So we can't possibly go wrong upgrading that building. However, we're still at a pretty significant problem here with regards to unhappiness. Ooh, that I did not notice. Look at this. See, these guys have Punic culture, which is the Carthaginian culture. And that is probably being influenced by this city here, is probably producing Punic culture, and because they're in the same province, it also affects Alalia. Now, there's a sacred grove here, which is spreading Latin culture. So it's actually slowly changing over to Italian instead of Punic. And right now, there's probably a major negative public order. Yeah, -11 for cultural differences. But as this gets, more and more Latin and less Punic, those cultural differences will go, that penalty will go away, and it will only be positives. So hopefully that will be enough. But in the meantime, I could probably upgrade this sacred grove to a grove of nymphs in order to help speed that along. I'll have to do that next turn. In the meantime, let's finish off the Etruscans. Free them. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Oh, man. They're still gotten away. That's annoying. That general's probably going to be around for forever. But let's kill this guy.
The ship cannot go there.
Oh, he ran away. Well, that's okay. We want to kill you.
Leave none alive.
There we go. Aggressive stance should end them.
Your next command?
Hey, look, he leveled up. All right.
Yes.
I can make my admiral stronger at things. How about the admiral is better at zeal? 2, because I want him to be able to hunt people down and kill them. Although I might make him something else later. Okay, anyway.
Honor to serve Rome.
We're putting this guy on his boat. We don't have enough yet to
Voyage is done.
upgrade that. We'll do that next turn. Another character has an upgrade.
Fleet
The
reporting.
engineering general, who we were going to give a lot of cunning to. So let's see. Cunning navigator. No, we want cunning tactician. There we go. Oh, I got to research new technologies. Ooh, I didn't mean to actually go without research. Oh, no, I lost a turn of research. Oh, well. These guys come and attack again. My garrison chases them off, and they finally sink. The Etruscans are finally defeated. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. Yeah, I like these little, there we go, faction destroyed. You got these little markers here that show, that was the Battle of Alalia, 258 BC, victory over Etruscan League. The other thing I really like, who is this? This is the Engineerius.
Ready for further orders.
You can take a look at the details of an army, and it shows you all the battles and the fact and the leader, how many years of service they've been in, the different set of commanders, how many victories each one had. It's got a really cool thing. It's just the fact that it's so tiny and you have to scroll through it like this is really annoying. You can also change the top. If these are the engineers, we got to give them something like that, like a siege. And now you can look at the top here. They've got a little Little crown CG type tower thingy. Alright, anyway. I was planning to improve the public order here by upgrading this to a Grove of Nymphs, which will not only improve public order, it'll also speed up the process of switching over Latin culture to help lower those other things. Also, now that we have the Manipular Barracks, we can recruit... we can't because it's too expensive. The Principe, Triarii, and Equites. So we've got enough Hastati for 3 legions. And I could sort of spread those out and just put some Principe and Equites and Triarii in the other legions. But maybe there's some more monetary things I can do. I think I can't now that I spent the money. So let's hit end turn here. Oh, research technology. Yes, that's what we want to do. So what can give us more money? This can give wealth from agriculture, reduce agricultural building costs. We could get rank 1 dignitaries and get a library. Cultural conversion, wealth from culture buildings. Yeah, that's not really that much money. Construction. This would give me minus construction costs and allow me to build aqueducts and gladiator schools. I think I want that, and then I'll switch back over maybe to something in this tree. Ooh, tariff income from trade. What I could certainly use is more trade with people. So I'm going to send this guy... Ugh, you know, I can't afford to send that guy. He's my main Navy guy. I could raise a different Navy and send him scouting, so let's do that. I'm going to pick another general that I don't care about, like this guy. He doesn't have terribly good stats. He'll raise a fleet of the cheapest guys we can get, Assault Quadmarine.
Yes.
And he is going to sail south to attempt to contact Egypt. So you can see there's a couple of cities along the coast here. So let's send him here, and then he'll go along the coast of Africa, contacting and making contact with all of these regions so that I can maybe get some more diplomacy happening. Are there any other factions who might want a trade route? We've already got a trade route with them. The Ligura, still pretty happy with us because of our... We have a non-aggression pact, I think? Oh, they're happy because they joined the war against the Etruscan League and they remember.
Greetings to you.
Oh, they won't even want a non-aggression pact. What if we... offer a payment a little bit? A little incentive? No. The problem here is the Ligura, according to this map, you can see the balance of power changes as I look at the various... So the Ligura are actually stronger than the Massilia. The Venti are weaker. You know, this is... You know, I'm much stronger than the Delmate, it looks like. But if I were to go into diplomacy with the Delmate... This shows I'm at like 60-70% compared to them. Here we're 50-50. So the AI seems to... The inconsistencies with the AI seem to be based on this. They always considered themselves to be equal in power with the player, no matter what the deal is. So if I am like massive Roman Empire and they're like tiny city-state and I'm offering them a non-aggression pact, sometimes they'll just say, no, we don't need a non-aggression pact from you. We don't need that. We could go to war with you at any time. And you're, yeah, okay, whatever. Sure, buddy. Let's see if that... it's not going to work. A lot of times, as a result, you pretty much have to bribe people into doing what you want. Even if it's a trade route and it benefits both of you, sometimes you have to pay them a ton of money just to get the trade route started. And that's very frustrating. It's possible the trade route gives me like 100 and it gives them 50, maybe due to the disparity of resources. But that's never shown to me. So if it was able to show me, hey, they're only getting 50, you're getting 100, that's why you have to pay more. Uh-oh, blackmail. One of my family members is being blackmailed. At the moment, I don't think I can afford that. -3 gravitas. So I will counter the rumors with more rumors. And let's see. Jeez, my gravitas is so low. I need to, like... adopt somebody into my house. Oh, he's the head of the party. I do not have enough money to adopt Sextus Senatus Cursor. Oh, he's an admiral. He's the admiral of my main navy, I think. That's why he's got glory. This guy is the general of one of my main thing. And he can't be bribed because he's the head of state. I just need this guy to have some kids so that we can get some more generals to pick from. That would be fantastic. Actually, let's try that right now. See if we can get any from the Juliite party. Other houses, House of Cornelia, House of Julia. This is the shitty guy, though. Ugh, -1 gravitas per turn as a general? That is terrible. Or no, he's just -1 gravitas per turn always. So I have to make him a general, otherwise bad shit's gonna happen. He's just gonna keep getting weaker and weaker. Alright,
We hunger
let's
for
turn
battle.
this army, the First Italica Legion, into some decent fighting force. It's going to cost me a ton. Look at that. Each turn I can probably only recruit like 3 guys max.
Your orders?
Now we're turning Neapolis into a port zone, so I'm going to have my navy go ahead and patrol stance.
Patrolling.
So now the shared sea region here has lower piracy rates, which is good. And I think just by being in the naval zone, I think is part of the advantage. So now we're going to go against Syracuse, but I want, as soon as Syracuse falls, I want to go after Carthage. So that's why I want to get the proper manipular legions ready to go, and not just sort of hastati, which are the basic militia beginnings of Roman heavy infantry. Hastati are the weaker troops, the sort of green troops, and then Principe and Triarii are made up of the more veteran troops. And they're better armed. They have stronger armor, better arms, things like that. So now, let's see.
Ready for battle.
This legion here has a couple of Principe. Let's recruit another 2 Principe
Fight for Rome.
and 2 Triarii. No, 1 Triarii, because I can't afford a 3rd one. And, ooh, outraged populace. Corsica and Sardinia. Just give it time, okay? Oh boy, if something doesn't happen soon, though, the public order there is going to go to 100, and then there are going to be uprisings. I left my army too soon. I should have left it there a little longer. However, 3 more turns, and, you know what? I'm going to take this army and send it back. I gotta send it back.
To your duties, men. All hands to the oars.
I gotta garrison that so that they don't get any worse any faster. At least until we can get that that Latin culture thing flipped around. Every turn it's getting better, but it's not getting better fast enough. If I just left my army there for a couple more turns instead of bringing them back to Rome to recruit, you know, that's the choices you gotta make. That's one of the only reasons, like I said, subjugating someone to a client state could be useful if you don't have the time to leave your army and spend the money. Ugh, rebellion imminent. I know. It's still 2 more turns.
Fleets reporting.
It's okay. They will have a garrisoned...
Ready for orders.
And when the unit is garrisoned, there we go. Plus 11 all of a sudden, because military presence is plus 18. There you go. That's a pretty big army. That's going to keep them from rebelling long enough for this to finish. 2 more turns for that, and then the cultural differences will be going down. Provincial instability is going down every turn, so there you go. Meanwhile, our main army over here,
Your command.
the Italica army, is going to continue. Let's see. We've got 1 Triarii, so let's do 1 more Principe and 2 Triarii. And now that army is full, but I don't have any Equites in it, so I'm going to take some of this Hastati and create a new army. And that will then... training field. Morale for all land units. That's actually a good thing to have before we go into combat, I think. And recruitment costs for all armies in all provinces. Ooh, that would be good too, because that's kind of where I'm going. My income, by the way, as you see, as I'm raising a bigger and bigger army, my income per turn is going down and down because I have to keep paying for this bigger and bigger army. So, ideally, I need to conquer things with these armies, which I'm planning on doing. I'm planning on securing Magna Graecia and securing Corsica and Sardinia, and then I'll have 3 full provinces. 2 of them will be provinces that contain 4 regions, and 1 of them will be a province with 2 regions. The 4 region provinces are... Oh, fucking earthquake. Every damn time, Arminium. Why did you have to found a city on a fault line or something? This thing... More earthquakes happening here than damn near any place else. I'll just let that one slowly repair over time. This one I should probably repair. I can't. I don't have the money to repair it. Damn it all to hell. Alright, well, let's raise one of our generals here. Let's recruit a new general. That'll be this guy, because I've got to do it. And give him Triarii. I think the general having more units so that he doesn't die quite so quickly is probably better. Now that I can recruit proper medium cavalry, now I can actually come over here and absorb some of the Hastati to form the core Hastati, in this 3rd Legion.
Call this a garrison. Ready for
And
battle.
so this has 3 Hastati. I'm going to get rid of these levies. They're not nearly as good as the Velites. You know, I'm gonna make sure these armies are awesome. So this can now get an Equites, and then I'm out of money.
Lads, for a good and glorious life.
I'm only getting 800 per turn because of what happened in Arminium. Arminium, I'm losing so much money from this harbor being destroyed and this capital being destroyed, or not the capital, the city itself, that I jumped down like a good 300 from where I should be getting my money. Luckily, I spent some money to repair Arminium, so that should come back into play. And as Corsica and Sardinia gets happier, they're going to start giving me more taxes soon. I think Magna Graecia might be giving me more taxes soon, too, if they're not already. Let's check them out real quick. Ugh, look at that earthquake. Minus 50% wealth from industrial buildings. Plus 10% public order. Stupid earthquake. Here's the other thing I don't think I showed you guys. Look, you got Mount Vesuvius here is actually smoking. That can't possibly go wrong. This is one of the wonders on the map, and I think if you fight near it, it might show up on the battle. Same thing with like the pyramids, or at least that's what's supposed to happen, but I hear that some of the pyramids are like missing. There's a big hole in the ground where Stonehenge is supposed to be. But anyway, this gives bonuses for all units because we own Mount Vesuvius. It is apparently like, you know, it's awesome, I guess, or maybe it's province-wide. No, it says all armies and all fleets we get a morale bonus for having this. That's kind of cool. And then tax harvesting is increasing my money income, and inspired populace is increasing my money income here. So that's why we've got a plus 20% to what these things would normally be producing. How is Arminium coming? Expensive to repair that. But how much are they losing as a result? Subsistence is at 75 when it should be at 150. So yeah. As long as they're damaged, they're doing a lot less than they should be. Alright, and I have no more money, so I gotta hit end turn again. It costs a lot to have 3 legions and a navy. But I have a plan. Hey, we got training reforms. Here's my plan. I can convert one of these, once it's finished actually. I can convert this into a Temple of Neptune, which increases wealth from maritime commerce buildings. Because, I mean, I'm looking at this. Oh, but this helps my tax harvesting. Ugh. This one, I think I will upgrade, because this is a basic temple. I'll upgrade this into a Temple of Neptune. That'll help my, it'll give me 20% on this and on this, which would be pretty significant. In the meantime, I've got 1,000 I can spend giving these guys more Equites. There we go. They are almost complete legion here. I might give them one more Velites and maybe one more Principe, and then that's a full legion ready to go. Yeah, let's keep boosting the economy up. We need to pay for all these legions we're raising here. And then I'm going to go look at Corsica here, which is producing a lot less money than it should because I left it early and the public order went down. So hopefully they will be doing fine on their own now. It's been a couple of turns. They probably finished that temple, which is going to boost my public order over there. We've converted a lot of them to Latin. Alliance forged. Interesting. Subject gains notoriety. One of my subjects is now infamous. A young boy with an uncanny resemblance to a member of my family has appeared. He claims to be the man's son by the daughter of another patrician family. Minus 4% influence unless we do something about it. Let's adopt him. Or send him away, or do nothing. If we adopt him, maybe that will improve our influence. Maybe he'll be an awesome general. I don't know. But I'm hitting a button and wondering what happens. Sometimes these events happen. It's pretty cool when they do. In the meantime, we have an encouraged populace. Magna Graecia is now doing much, much better. Plus 2% tax rate there instead of the minus 8. So that's going to continue going up. These guys are now plus 21, of which the military presence is 18. I will soon be able to have them leave the province and start, you know, doing something more useful to us. Although I might leave them up here and then go and conquer Corellis with them. Is that the Engineering Legion? It is the Engineering Legion, so I might leave them up there anyway, just to take care of business. Ooh, look at that. That's the Sacred Grove, I think, that got built there. I like how the map can represent what's actually going on. And our Latin is now 67% culture over the Punic, so that's going really well. This one, we have enough money to probably top these guys off with Principe and Velites. This is now a full manipular-like legion. It's not really a manipular legion, but it's manipular-like. And I've got my navy here, which I still can't really improve very much. But I'm going to start marching that 3rd Legion south. Or is it this 1st Legion? I think that's the 1st Legion. And then we'll try and take over Syracuse, and then we might get into war with Carthage. It'll be a good time. Hopefully I've been able to explain most of what's going on here. If you have any further questions, put them in the comments, and I will try to answer your questions in the next video of this series. I'm planning to continue this specific campaign all the way through to the end and upload all the videos to you guys. So let's see, 1 growth per turn. That's a really good general. Is he Julia? No, he's Cornelia. Of course he is. Damn it! I have to give it to somebody else because that stupid guy died. And that's another reason, by the way, that people are upset. Yep, he died of natural causes. Long lost son. His mother eventually came forward and proved the truth of his words. The boy is truly a lost son of our house. Okay, I'm not sure what that did, except that he's now a general, maybe? Oh, we've got a statesman. This guy here is the House of Julia. I think that might be the guy that just showed up. He's age 25. I think that's him. But the game uses 1 year per turn, or 1 turn per year, instead of multiple turns per year, which does a couple of things. Some things are beneficial, some things are negative. One of the major negatives is, apparently it takes an entire year to go from Neapolis... No, it takes more than a year to go from Neapolis to Arminium. What are they doing? Are they getting lost in the forest for months at a time? Are they stopping for 6 meals a day? It should not take that long to walk, what is it, 100 miles? Maybe 2? That's ridiculous. So even if you use the forced march, the furthest you could go is like the northern bit of Italy here. And in a year, you could walk around the entire coastline of Europe, much less just from one part of Italy to the other. So that just becomes ludicrous when you look at how it should really be. If you're going to use distances like this, it should be four turns per year. Another problem. When you start getting a lot of different leaders, including generals and admirals and spies, and we haven't shown dignitaries or champions yet. Those guys are really cool. I haven't been able to recruit them, I don't think. I can recruit champions, actually. I'll recruit a champion, so I'll show you guys what these guys do. And I want the military training guy. He's got cool. So once you start getting... How many can you possibly have? Right now, I can have a total of 10, 12, 14, 16. 16 is what I can have now. Later in the game, you can have tons more. You can have like 20, 30 guys. And every other turn, somebody's dying and has to be replaced because they come to you at like age 30 and die at age 60, 70. So you have to replace them every 40 turns. And if you have 20 or 30 of them, that's a huge number of things happening every other turn. You got to replace one of these guys, and you hardly ever really get to use them. You don't really get to know them. You're upgrading these guys with special attributes, and then, 3 turns later, they die. So that's a problem. People don't feel like they're getting to know their generals and stuff. But that's not nearly as much of a problem with the armies, because, like, for example, my Engineering Legion, they have that tradition. The tradition of the Engineering Legion, allows them to gain these traditions over time that never go away just because the general dies. They stay there with the army permanently. Even if the army's wiped out, you can bring them back as you can make the Second Legion of Engineers reborn if you wanted to. So that does seem like a huge problem for this game, is that fact. However, the advantage to only having 1 turn per year is that you basically can go through most of the important parts of Roman history from like 272 BCE to 300 CE, and you can do that in 500-ish turns, right? 400, 500 turns. If you doubled the turns per year, you'd have to double the number of total turns if you wanted to go through most of Roman history. So I think 2 turns per year is a good compromise. But it seems to me that... And that's already been taken care of, by the way, in some mods. Character trait report. Everybody becomes unhinged. Why is everybody unhinged? I forgot to move this guy. Damn it. Let's send him over to where Egypt should be, which I think is right over here. Or here. Oh well, he'll pass by all these on the way, and then we can maybe get into some diplomatic arrangements with the Egyptians. What's our next technological obstacle here? Whatever gives us lower upkeep. Here's another thing, by the way. Cohort barracks. This technology, cohort organization, represents the Marian reforms that took place in 107 BCE. It's currently 246 BCE. I haven't been beelining down the management route, as you can tell. I grabbed, a bunch of stuff in here. I grabbed a bunch of stuff in here. I basically finished the first tier of construction and economy. And I also sort of did a little bit in here. But in 5 turns, which is 241 BCE, I can get the Marian reforms to happen. More, like 150 turns early, 150 years early? Okay, it's an alternative history, right? It's not supposed to be perfect. That's fine. I might expect a game to allow you to trigger events in such a way that maybe the Marian reforms happen 50 years early. I could accept that. But 150 years early, you could literally get the Marian reforms 10 turns after the game starts. 10, 12 turns. That's ridiculous. Those are supposed to happen way later. You basically just start fighting. I just recruited an army of pre-Marian Roman legions. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is what you're supposed to spend 100 years fighting with to build the Roman Republic. But I just got it, and I'm about to start getting rid of it and instead using legions and cohorts. Like, I didn't even get a chance to play with these guys. Why am I already at that point? So, if you ask me, they should swap this with, like, this, or something ridiculous. It should take a lot longer to get here. It's so ridiculous how fast you can do it. Even if you just doubled the turn times to 10, that at least makes it an opportunity cost, makes it a little harder to get. But I think it should also switch with mercenary auxiliaries. Why is that behind the Marian reforms? Freaking ridiculous. Switch these two. Or just make it harder. Like, make it so that you have to get this, then that. Like, in this little thing. You have to go chunk, chunk, chunk. Or something. It's just absurd. Anyway, I've got 722. This legion is complete. This legion is just starting. So we'll give them some Velitas, because those are the cheapest units to build and maintain.
Ready for orders.
Let's start marching these guys south. The engineering squad we will bring as, shows of support. And our patrolling naval units will also go south here. In fact, there's no reason not to use forced march and save ourselves a couple of turns here. I don't know if we can do the forced march here. Yep, we can. We can do double time.
Beat the drums. It is an honor to serve Rome. Sound the drums.
Okay. And then next turn I'll take them off of the forced march because we're about to go start with war with Syracuse, and we don't want to do that when when we're in forced march stance. All right, let's do it. End turn. Oh, we got to research something. So I am going to consciously not go for the cohort organization until at least 200 BC, but that's stupid. I shouldn't have to make that decision. Like, honestly, going here first is one of the most optimal things you can do in this game. It's such a huge improvement that not doing it feels like you're giving yourself a huge handicap. But that's okay. I will, suck it up and just train some dignitaries, I guess. Where's my champion? Here's my champion.
I am Rome's
He is Rome's champion. Now, the champion is an agent, like the spy. And agents can be used in multiple different ways. You saw before I was able to use it to try to poison the well, or I can also use it to assassinate an enemy general. I can use it to destroy a specific building. I can also use it to deploy in either friendly or enemy territory. And usually when you deploy it in enemy territory, it's the opposite of what it does when it's in friendly. The spy, for example, improves counterintelligence. It helps us detect enemy spies, which are the only agents that usually are invisible. Normally you can see enemy champions and dignitaries in your lands. And it helps me avoid enemies messing with my settlements. The spy sets up an intelligence network that helps them stop enemies from messing with my settlements like I tried to do to the other. Now, if I set this up in enemy territory, it helps me mess up their intelligence network and does the opposite, basically. You can also have your spy join your army. You can only have one character, one agent with your army, in addition to your general, obviously. And this increases the cunning of the parent army and general and protects it against enemy agent action. So if somebody tries to come assassinate my general, my spy traveling with the army will help deter that. It will help prevent them from poisoning the food and things like that. So the champion is another one of these three agents. And you can use him to try and reduce enemy morale right before a big battle. You can also deploy him, and he increases the public order in the local populace and protects settlements, again, from enemy agents. But you can also deploy him in an enemy area, and it lowers the enemy morale and lowers the enemy public order, etc., etc. Or I can have him travel with my army, which I think is the most powerful use of him, and he increases the experience of all units every turn. He's basically helping train the army. So all of these guys are going to get more experience as if they'd been in combat, because you've got this champion here training them as they go. And you can see here, plus 90 unit experience gained per turn from the military training. Partly because of I chose a champion who is already natively good at that, and he can get better and better. All right, how's this doing? Yay, plus 2 per turn. Huzzah! Magna Gracia. Okay, I could expand this, but I do not want to. I just want to hit end turn because I have no money. So as soon as we conquer Syracuse and get ready to go to war with Carthage, that's where I think we're going to end the video here, and then I'll pick up with the beginning of the war with Carthage in the next video. And hopefully we won't have to do quite so much explaining and do a little bit more playing. But, you know, it's games explained. You can explain things as you go. Now, here's another really cool piece of Rome 2 that I like. We talked about diplomacy. How's this guy doing down here? He continued to find the Libyans. What about this? Is this the Egyptians yet? Or, ooh, yes, it is the Egyptians. Excellent. Now, the Egyptians are another one that I've found that is often, and this is, look at this. I can't scroll the map past the edges, so Egypt's down here and I can't click on it. I have to look for it in the list instead. There it is. And they have a cultural aversion, but I've noticed that they often like to treat with Rome. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe there's some historical bias in there, but Massilia and Egypt, almost every time I've started a campaign, will just give me a trade agreement. No fuss. Okay, they might need a little fuss. How much does the trade agreement give me? 186 per turn. That would be very valuable. I'd be willing to give you 700 per turn. Damn it. Well, they're just proving me wrong. But I did get a non-aggression pact with them. Maybe I can get a defensive alliance, too. No. We can try next turn if we have some more money. Alright, this general I am now going to disband because he's just costing me 150 wealth a turn. And I just, you know what? No, there's one more faction up on Cyprus here, I think. I might be able to get a trade route with them because Athens never wants a freaking trade route, and I can never figure out why. It always takes me forever, even though they might like me.
Be welcome here and speak as you wish.
They don't even want a non-aggression pact. Ugh. Anyway, so we're going to leave our super fast stances before I forget. Okay, Syracuse actually has a big damn army in that garrison, which is a good thing that I brought both my armies then. How far can this guy get onto land? You can get basically to here. Syracuse is not happy that I'm trespassing on their lands. I may incur their wrath. Yeah, right. So, yeah, I know I'm trespassing. You can see that when you click on, you can see that there's that arrow that shows, hey, you're close enough to them that if one of you gets in a fight, the other one can come to the rescue. Alright, we've got the Navy in place. These guys are going to be able to march down and attack Syracuse next turn. But in the interim, I am going to again purchase some units here. How about some Principe?
Sign up, lads, for a good and glorious life.
Yeah, I think it is a good and glorious life, yes, indeed.
I am a favored son of Mars.
A favored son of Mars. That's the champion leveling up sound. So he can actually get even better, for example, at training the military troops. I think it takes zeal to do that. So I'll upgrade his zeal. And you can find that like buried deep within the encyclopedia. There he is. So now I can go to this tab, which shows my agent that's embedded here. He's a military tribune. This is the reason I chose him. He's very good at leveling up those things. Let me see. Characters. If I click on champion and I go down to military training and you look buried in this paragraph, it says, the effectiveness of this action is dependent upon your champion's zeal. So that means if I want him to get better at continuing to do military training, I choose zeal. Now,
At your command.
we charge. We declare war on Syracuse. They don't have any allies, we don't have any allies, so we're going to war.
We take this.
Now this, they've got a lot of militia hoplites and a bunch of slingers here. And they've also got the garrison on top of that, because each city has its own garrison based on the building types. Now they've got a ton of mob, which is not fantastic, so we don't have to worry about them too much, but I'm going to encircle them.
Laying siege to the settlement.
Then I'm going to blockade their port.
Set up a blockade.
So now, if a battle does break out, I'll have my
None shall
trusty
pass.
Navy. And you see it went from 8 holdout to 4. And now, if I bring my engineers up,
Advance.
they are going to be in place so that if the enemy tries to break out and attack, and I can't... This is another problem. If I wanted to, for example, have the 1st Legion leave to go do something else, and the 2nd Legion here come to continue the siege, I can't have them continue the siege first. I have to lift the siege, then they re-siege, but I think in the interim it might reset. I hope it doesn't. But anyway, I'm in a position to force them to attack me or die. So that's what I'm hoping happens here. And, oh my god, my income is pathetic. I'm going to wait a turn and then build something here to help my income, maybe. I might be able to do that here, actually. So let's save up a little bit and try to stop building armies, because our armies are huge, and they are hurting us. I need some more trade routes going. Maybe I can convince Egypt. If I spend a little bit of cash on them, they might be persuaded. And Egypt could be 186 a turn. That's a lot for a trade route. Oh, I didn't even show you the trade goods yet. Trade goods are also very important in this game, which you get from specific regions. Oh boy, they're attacking just my navy? How come my navy is not helping? I am very confused here. He's attacking my navy. My navy should be assisted by my army. And I can't retreat for some reason. Why can't I retreat? That's ridiculous. Here's another bug in the game. This guy is within range of my other forces to help. I'm just going to hit auto-resolve and hope that they run away. Instead, the Navy just gets crushed for no reason.
Back. Pausing.
Why did my other guy run away? They weren't even in the fight! Oh my god, it's driving me nuts. His army could go attack my navy, but my army can't help defend my navy? Ugh. Someday they'll fix all this. Anyway, apparently the naval admiral guy failed, so let's pick a house that I don't care about. Junia, sure. Motivated populace. Yay, Magna Gracia, helping me out. Alright, let's get this. Just get view of these guys, and then maybe we can trade with them. Okay, now I'm going to disband. Look how much money I'm getting now that those guys killed off my navy. I don't...
We hunger for battle.
What happened to cause the engineering group... Oh, because they're still within range. Okay.
None will escape.
Let's move these guys further into range. And hang on a ticket. They're going to hold out for 8 turns. Doesn't make any sense to me. But let's go and attack. Why don't we? It's happening. I'm going in. And when we win this, then we will stop the video. I'm hoping we win it. If we lose it, that's going to set us back a long time. I'm going to attack first with the Engineering Legion, which contains way too much Astati. Alright, so there is our goal. This area here. I don't have any naval units because they killed them in a bullshit move. But at the moment, I think... if I take just my Hastati and line them correctly... I don't know why they start in those big blobs instead of starting in a line that's appropriate, but they do. Alright, we're starting the battle. I'm going to get rid of that so I can actually see things.
By all the gods of the seas and winds, I am happy to fight with dry land beneath my march.
He's happy to fight with dry land beneath his feet, huh?
Our reinforcements have arrived.
Alright, let's go this way with these guys. These guys are going to try to be sneaky and go around this way with one set of velites. 2 sets of velites. And my reinforcements are here. Slowly appearing on the map. My FPS is dying. What does he have over here? All these hoplites, which are going to be food for my skirmishers.
Orders.
And he also only has hoplites over here. He hardly has any ranged units. Flaming javelins. Okay, let's change it to flaming javelins. Hopefully their skirmish mode will work properly. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's a big annoyingness. Let's see what's going on over here. Again, we got the 3 slingers. Not slingers, skirmishers. Oh, do they have slingers here? They do have slingers, those bastards. Alright, you guys are going to need to move. Run a little faster, because the slingers are going to start pecking you. Okay, let's hit the slingers hard. Here's the slingers. Firing their... And actually, slings had a surprisingly large range. They actually were longer range than most standard bows of the era. Not longer range than, like, the recurve bow or the long bow. Alright. Skirmish against these guys and run as soon as you need to. There you go. They're running.
The men are wavering.
Why are they wavering? They're not even taking any damage. Oh, they are kind of a little bit. These guys took 1 hit. That sucks. Alright, now we're over here. We're ready to skirmish. They're charging. So I gotta hide my skirmishers behind my melee guys. Kill these guys with your javelins. Now the advantages are javelins have much higher damage and armor penetration than the slinger's slings do. The slings may have the range, but they're a lot weaker. But damn, these hoplites. We can't get through their shields yet. Oh, I need to get my new army over here. about you walk this way? Slowly and steadily. While I try to win with just this one army, which I might even be able to do, for all I know.
Your orders. Attack.
Slow and steady. Give them some backup. Oh boy, frames are dropping way low because I've got too many people on the screen and I'm trying to fraps it.
Break the lines.
Oh boy, give some backup to these guys quick. Inspire these guys. There we go.
Missile infantry at your
The men are wavering.
Oh, I don't want men to be wavering. Which men? These men? Damn it, Velites! You're supposed to be in skirmish mode. How is it they get caught every time? They're faster, and they're programmed to run away automatically.
missiles ready and waiting.
So I don't understand how they get caught every time.
We obey. As you
The
command.
men are wavering.
Charge in and back those guys up then.
Your command.
Don't worry, you're getting back up right now.
Pull back. Missile infantry.
There you go.
Infantry ready.
We're losing our Hastati, but that's okay. They're the weaker guys. All right, charge into the flank. Go, go, go.
Romans all. Melee troops. Hastati. Brave Romans to a man.
Keep chasing these slingers.
Livy. Hail. As you
The men are wavering.
They shouldn't be. I've got a general right behind him, inspiring them.
Our general is under attack.
Our general is sitting there doing nothing. Battle rhythm.
Happy to serve Rome.
Ooh, there's the enemy general all of a sudden.
ready for orders. Orders. Dominate.
Oop, we've got an extra... Alright, we've got these guys on the run at least.
Melee infantry. Advance.
Alright, we need to reform up. These guys are not to be concerned with. General can go after those damn slingers. You need to reform up and charge these guys.
Jupiter gives us strength.
Hit the damn general from behind. Make sure he does not survive.
Missile infantry at your command. Velites. Glory to Rome.
Ready and waiting.
Sending these guys in. We've broken one of them. Those militia.
In our favor.
Yeah, it is turning in our favor. Especially because we haven't even got our reinforcements yet and we're already winning. This is another problem. The auto-resolve, the chances... Oh boy, get our general out of there. The chances of auto-resolve
Missiles awaiting target.
determining who wins is based almost purely on numbers.
Hastati.
Instead of...
The men are wavering.
Oh, they shouldn't be wavering. Instead of basing it on the quality of troops.
Velites.
Are you out of ammo? Is that why you're charging?
Infantry ready.
Hopefully you don't hit our own guys. So see how much of an overrun this is right now?
Withdraw. Proud Romans all.
You have orders, sir. Advance.
Up, up. Oh, those guys got overextended. And now they're getting attacked.
The men are wavering.
Ooh, there's a lot more over here than I thought. It's the mob. It's just the mob.
Orders understood.
Why are you afraid of the mob?
Orders.
Oh, because the slingers are about to get caught in a meat grinder is why.
Our men flee the field of battle.
Here we go.
This is a shameful display.
Get them, Hastati. Get them. They have no armory. They don't even have shields. Cut them down. Yeah. From both sides. Those slingers are done.
Hastati. Brave Romans to a man.
Where's my general? Did he finish off the slingers? Not exactly. There they are.
Wavering.
Ready and waiting. General, we are engaged.
All right, let's watch this from the general's perspective. Get those damn slingers. Oh, those aren't slingers, are they? We still charged them. Oh, they are slingers. They're skirmishers. Peltists. Oh, General, run. You're going to get attacked from behind.
men flee the field of battle.
Of course they do. They're
This is a
stupid.
shameful display.
Where's our reinforcements here? You guys can all come to this corner. I don't really have to pay too much attention. I think we were already in a position to move forward and capture the middle.
Waiting orders. Move out!
And then we'll just win.
Heavies! General!
The men are wavering.
I'm supposed to use the general's abilities like battle rhythm, you guys. I don't know what that means, but inspire, second wind to you. Oh, they're useless.
Ready and waiting. General!
And quickly!
I don't no longer have any melee troops here.
The men are wavering.
But that's because we booked it to the middle, and if we capture the middle, we win. What about you guys? Why are you in the... Oh, fucking run away.
Withdraw!
You guys are useless.
Missile infantry at your command! Loose! Victory for
Here they go.
The men are wavering.
The general's men are wavering. They're going to lose to the mob. Come on, general.
Reminders!
Oh my god, he's got 3 guys left. Maybe he is... Oh, he totally just ran away. The general ran away. What a jerk.
melee troops awaiting.
I don't know what's going on with these banners here. They don't even have the correct things on them, apparently. Oh, interesting. I didn't notice. They're flat if they're, I think, heavy infantry?
We are in!
Maybe.
Your
The
orders?
men are wavering.
They are angled if they're medium infantry, and they are round if they're light. Or not just infantry, I think that's for everything. These are medium cavalry, which I could have used a long time ago. Did I get to the center yet? Am I winning? Yes, I am. Why are you guys freaking upset? Just set up a defensive line here. There's 4 of you. That flank is going to crumble as soon as we hit it. We're in the process of capturing the middle. You just have to survive. Come this way.
Infantry ready!
Hide behind the buildings.
On me! Orders understood!
Alright, where's my cavalry over here? These are my 3 cavalry units.
The men are wavering.
Come here, double speed. Help these guys in the middle out against the stupid slingers. Because a cavalry charge down the middle here is going to just win.
Proud Romans all! Astarte! Sun!
The men are wavering.
Jupiter gives us strength!
Yeah, get them. You got this. The cavalry's coming, literally.
Yes, Commander! No!
They're going to try to stop us with those guys, but
Equity!
my equites are better trained than that. They're not just going to
Men
stop and
flee
fight.
the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
I don't even know what those units are. They're not close enough because they're taking forever to get here. There we go. The cavalry made it.
We await your
The
command!
men are wavering.
There we go. Now we got them. Now I think we're capturing the middle.
Swift riders at your command! Cut them down!
Yeah, we got the mob shattered. End the battle. Success and victory. I think I could have done that slightly better, but I was like, screw it. They're Hastati, and we're trying to get rid of them anyway. And we didn't even lose one. We didn't lose one. They're all going to replenish. Oh, man. But how many did we kill? We killed 1,700. We lost 1,800. That's pretty good, I got to say. Not bad at all. Ooh! I love those. Those fighting maneuvers on the main battlefield. Looks very cool. Captured a lot. Holy crap. I could make them all slaves and get tons of money. But I don't want to do that. Instead, I really want the province peacefully captured. Ah, faction destroyed. They didn't even have a single surviving army after that fight. Holy moly. Alright, now Syracuse, as you can see, has a bunch of buildings that aren't my faction's buildings. They've got a Temple of Athena, which is a Greek-type building, instead of a Temple of Minerva. So I could convert it directly to a Temple of Minerva, or I can convert it to one of these other temples. Mercury, wealth, and bread and games. I might just... And I'm making more money now because I caught Syracuse. Yay. And the Temple of Zeus is also here. I kind of want to convert one of these to a Grove of Nymphs so that I can make sure we spread Latin culture, but also so that we can get +8 public order quickly. Unfortunately, I don't have the cash for any of that yet to convert, so I'm just going to have to wait a turn and take care of that later. But for now, that's the end of this video. Thanks, guys, for watching. If the next one has been uploaded, you'll see a link down at the bottom here. Go into the next video, or maybe the top right or top left, somewhere right there. You should be able to see it. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and subscribe. Send us a like. Give us any feedback. If you have any questions about things I didn't cover and you want me to talk about it in the second video, leave them in the comments, and we'll check it out later. All right, thanks, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you'd like to show some support, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. A couple more videos for you to check out here, or subscribe to the channel, Sound Strategy Network. Also check out Team Legacy at teamlegacy.net and our Twitch page at twitch.tv/team/teamlegacy.